Welcome and all American Cartel members and aunts, Facebook friends, Twitter followers, random YouTube viewer, BitChute viewer, and anybody else that might be watching. Thanks for joining me. My name is Julio. I am the Theorizing Theorist, and today we're going to be going over the Z on these tanks and the theories about the mysterious Z on Russian tanks in Ukraine, whatever. Russian military vehicles advancing into Ukrainian territory have different symbols drawn on their bodywork, although Z is the most commonly used. I think it's actually the only one used, but we'll get into the theories at the end. Let's go ahead and read this article first, and while we're waiting till the article pulls up, please hit the like button, guys. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, comment down below, share this on social media, and donate if you can. If you're blessed enough to donate, in the description box down below is a PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo link. Please use it, guys. Russian tanks, artillery, and military vehicles that have been crossing Ukraine's borders for days now are adorned with a series of symbols drawn in white paint. These symbols range from letters to geometric figures and even combinations of the two. In fact, more than 10 different combinations have been seen on the bodies, both front and sides, of these war vehicles. But what do they mean? And again, I'm going to go over the theories at the end of this after I read these articles, but I just want to get this out of the way so I can kind of inform you guys and of what's being said, and also counter them with the theories that I have. The theory I have fits perfectly, so you'll understand why here at the end. So, Z tanks explained. From all the footage that has been observed today, it would appear that the most commonly seen is the letter Z, framed within either a square, rectangle, or triangle. One theory put forward as to why these symbols are painted on the vehicles is that they can reduce the chances of being hit by friendly fire. For example, both the Russian and Ukrainian forces use the same model of tank, and so they use this personalized symbology to distinguish themselves from the enemy. Another reason, however, is that they may pertain to the locations where the units are stationed. Michael Clark, former director of the defense think tank PRE-WWIII, explained this idea to Sky News. Kind of a funny usage of the think tank, and we're talking about tanks. Just thought that was kind of comical real quick. Anyway, let's continue. Often these symbols will be location based. They will communicate where the unit is going, he said, pointing to the various designs seen in recent days. These are probably symbols that say which units are heading northeast or northwest in a region, for example. And again, I have tons of theories and rebuttals, but I'm going to say that all for the end. I'm sure you guys are like, what the fuck? That's a stupid theory, but not my theory, and this is just their theories or excuses, if you will. Looks like another abandoned and damaged Russian military column in the Izyumsky district, Kharkiv Oblast. Mostly fuel trucks. Russian forces appear to be doing a poor job of defending their supply lines. And now you'll notice this Z is in a square. It looks a lot different than the Z's in the beginning of the video, if you ask me. I'm going to explain what's really happening behind the scenes. In my opinion, the Theorizing Theorist is going to give you his theories, and they're highly educated theories, I might add, if you ask me, of course. So again, there's another Z in a square. This suggests that if they only wanted to communicate that they are Russians, there would not be the different symbols that we have witnessed, just the one required. And Clark also stated that this is normal practice in battles, citing the example of the United States using chevrons to identify different units in Iraq. Military symbols have limited shelf life. Another hypothesis regarding the paint markings relates to the specific mission of each vehicle. Most Z markings seen so far have been inside a square, but this Ural truck with an whatever howitzer has one inside a triangle. Rob Lee, a PhD student and observer of Russian defense policy, wrote on Twitter, possibly indicating different working groups within a formation or within a war, within a country, I guess. He concluded. These thermobaric MLRSs and T-72Bs tanks with roof screens in northern Crimea heading north from yesterday. So these have some of the Z's that we're more familiar with, as you can see. So, however, an important factor has been raised about these markings drawn on military vehicles lose their effectiveness as the days go by. As enemy intelligence picks up patterns, especially with high-spec modern surveillance tools, these symbols could work against the occupants potentially giving clues to the tactics being deployed, analyzing the military might of Russia. By all accounts and recent statements about nuclear capabilities, President Vladimir Putin did not expect such a difficult time. So all this is nothing really in regards to the Z. It's just kind of talking about some other things. So we're going to check out another video here, and I want you to see this before we go over the theory. So let's check that video out real quick. So here we go. So it's this tank here, no Z, right? And there's about 3 or 4, maybe 5 videos with these farmers, same type of farm vehicle, moving these tanks around, right? With no Z. And if you ask me, in my opinion, even that video where that tank runs over the car, no Z. There's another video of another tank running over, like a lot of these stage scenes that are very similar. Just like Tim Pool was pointing out, the anchor, the 3 different translators in 3 different speeches couldn't control himself and began weeping as he was translating during 3 different speeches, mind you. But this right here goes the theory, okay? Now try to follow along. I'm going to try to explain it as best as possible. Ukraine, or whoever is operating Ukraine, knew they have no army. And it's obvious now, since I don't see any soldiers, never have I really, and like a couple. But as far as like an actual army, no. And it's them handing out guns to civilians off the bat and trying to motivate the people that are there to try to do something, anything is pretty telling, let's just say. But this right here, what you're seeing is them staging and preparing to stage these skirmishes, let's just say, and they're moving these tanks around town so they can properly do what they're gonna do. Now, remember when World War II or whatever, we had the balloon tanks. Remember the fake tanks that were made out of balloons or whatever? This is kind of what those are, okay? They're not gonna spend lots of money to have a tank just be destroyed, so they just put the shell out, and it has no actual engine in it, so they're driving them around town to place them to be destroyed or to be used or whatever. Now here's a real column of these Russian tanks, and as you can see, these are well-oiled vehicles. And these vehicles ain't breaking down like they're trying to make it seem. Like Russia, although a paper tiger compared to the United States, is still a fucking country that is not a third world country, guys. So you'll see here in this video that these Z's were a part of a big video from another channel, got 1.4 million views, and he's anti-Russia, he's for Ukraine. But even in this video, he can't help but notice how polite this invasion is. So it looks like it's starting to wear thin on some of the Ukrainian believers, or whatever you want to call them. So keep fighting the good fight, share these videos, share this video in particular, and help people become more aware that Ukraine is trying to pull the biggest lie in history, it seems like, and that's like World War III. And it's really fucked up because they're trying to start World War III just to defend little old Ukraine. Like, we should sacrifice the entire world for little freaking Ukraine. Like, fuck them, dude. Let Russia have them. Nothing to do with us. Okay? As far as starting World War III, when World War III pops off, it's going to be for something pretty serious, I'd imagine. But that's all I really got for you guys. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, follow, donate by checking the description box down below. PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. But yeah, the Russian military absolutely knew that they began making propaganda previous to the invasion. So right when they were about to invade, to eliminate all that pre-made propaganda, they put Z's on the vehicles. Does that make sense? So that's all I got for you. As always, you know the routine. To God be the glory.